Last time today, I'm Chris Loftus. I am the Director of Communications for the Washington State Patrol. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate the service that you provide to the state and to the citizens with providing them information. Our mission is nearly complete. We feel quite good about the outcome. The legislature has been able to meet. They've done so safely. There was no breach of the building or the perimeters. No one has been harmed. No one has been killed. No building has been damaged. The vote has been taken, and the session will be able to occur now legally on a virtual framework that they've worked out to maximize the people's ability to speak to their legislators and to be a part of the thing. The building will soon be quiet again, and we're glad about that because we're hoping that will mean the people who have indicated they were going to come and harm the building or the people inside or the processes, there will be nothing to harm other than the building, and we will continue to protect it as the symbol of our freedoms and our democracy. As you heard this morning, the demobilization planning will occur tonight. We will send out a tweet and a press release once we know what that is, what level, who, where, and when. But those decisions will be made later in the evening. We do have intelligence that there are groups that will be coming to the campus either tonight or meeting nearby the campus that still may offer some level of threat to the situation. So we're going to be here until we know that all threat is resolved. I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Wright. He's going to tell you about an arrest that's been made and the relationship of that arrest to other events. I'll come back. I know some of you have questions about the FBI letter that's been circulated, that's been widely reported in the media that went to all 50 state capitals, and I'll tell you how we've used that information and where it's been. So with that, I'll bring up Sergeant Darren Wright.
Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for being here again. I wanted to mention that of the 2 arrests we made today, further investigation revealed that the 30-year-old male that was arrested this morning at about 11 o'clock has also been determined to be one of the people that breached the campus grounds on Wednesday, and he is going to be charged with that also. So our investigation will continue to move forward on that instance as well as others today. So with that, we'll stand for any questions.
What charge did you find probable cause for related to Wednesday?
What charge is he being? He's being charged with criminal trespass. Okay. He was one of the people that entered the grounds illegally, is basically what I can divulge on that. So, and he is being charged with criminal trespass for being one of the people that passed through the gate and breached the grounds.
Can you describe in a bit more detail the circumstance of his arrest today? I understand that he basically tried to enter at 11 a.m. He claimed that he would, and he did, and clarify the details of his arrest.
That's pretty much it. He did state that it was his intent to watch the legislature today, and that if they went into session without him being able to watch, he was going to cross through the line and go in there, and he knew the consequences were that he would be arrested, and he did make that line. He did cross that line, and he was arrested as a result. So, I'm sorry? Yes, his name is Thomas Hughes. Thomas Hughes, he's an Everett resident. He's 30 years old. Hughes. Okay. Any other questions?
Can you give a little more insight into what the timeline might look like for maybe clearing out the 30 presence? It sounds like, is there a possibility that the National Guard could be activated through next weekend when there are more events planned?
The planning and resources sections are going to be evaluating the threats and then reacting accordingly. So I don't know what the demo process is going to be, and we're probably not going to reveal that kind of security level information anyways, but we'll keep the appropriate resources to make sure that the legislature is able to conduct their business and that the building stays safe, which was the mission we were charged to do, and we're happy that we've been successful throughout today.
Do you expect lawmakers to be back here on campus at all after today's virtual decisions, or?
There may be some here intermittently, but I don't know what their plans are. No. Okay. Okay. And if go ahead.
So I had some information about the letter that has been widely reported that was sent to all 50 state capitals. We did receive that letter. We have an organization called the Fusion Center, which some of you have reported on in the past. It's an FBI collaboration with state and local government, also with the law enforcement in British Columbia. Our Fusion Center representatives here in the building today, he did say that we got that notice, but candidly, in this state, we were already working on a number of very specific threats, as we've seen today. So it was not earth-shaking news to us when that notification came. I'm sure there are other states where it truly was a groundbreaking and a consequence, but we're already working on very specific issues, very specific threats, and very specific intelligence. So it was simply not that large a groundbreaking information for us. I did get a number of questions and follow-up from many of you after today's thing about the number of unpermitted events and who they were and where they were. So I've done the number crunching on that. Since the election, that was what most people have asked about. Since the election and before this weekend's unique mobilization, so in that period of time, we had 28 unpermitted events on the Capitol campus involving approximately 3,000 people. There were 12 that were what we determined were right-left conflicts. We try to make a point of not using the names of these groups. For one thing, their names often include phrases and words that they may not be worthy of assignment, and there are a number of the groups that have subgroups within them, and we have just found it's problematic to name them. So we just list them as right and left. So there have been 12 of those 28 unpermitted events that were right-left conflicts. That involved approximately 700 people. There were 5 that were right-only demonstrations involving the majority of that 3,000, 1,850 people came for the 5 demonstrations involving the right side of the political spectrum only. There were also 5, and just the way it worked out, equally on the left side, but that only involved 300 people. So the vast majority of these were on right-leaning perspectives on the political scale. 6 were apolitical things, faith services, war remembrances, and those sorts of things that people come on to the campus to commemorate, etc., which involved 150 people. Our RDF, or Rapid Deployment Force, you've seen them if you've been up on the line. Those are the guys in the men and women in the dark blue, often referred to as riot police, but they do so much more. They answer all sorts of natural resource issues across the state. Any disruption, man-made or natural, where we need to mobilize quickly and respond, our Rapid Deployment Force are the folks that do that for us. You've seen them up on the line today. In those 28 instances of unpermitted events, they were mobilized 4 times for right-left conflict, 2 times for right-centered demonstrations, and 1 time for left-centered demonstrations, for a total of 7 times total in the 28 unpermitted events on Capitol campus. So with that, we'll take any questions, and our folks from DES and the National Guard are here as well if you have any questions.
Can you talk a little bit more about your concerns about tonight? It sounds like these guys are going to go home and all that.
We're not going to demobilize until we are sure that tonight's situations have been resolved. We do have intelligence that says there may be a group that will gather off campus but close by, and a group that in the past sometimes has traveled onto the campus and was mentioned in some of the numbers that I gave you. So until we are sure that we have that situation contained, we're going to make sure that we have the force in place to meet any kind of problem. Anything that's happening in Olympia, the town itself, the city itself, we work with the Olympia Police Department, but again, when we've had a number of situations where these groups move back and forth, and in law enforcement, we have shared responsibilities to protect one another, protect property, protect life, obviously is the primary thing. So we very often work with them seamlessly in these things, but right now, it looks like it would be a situation that would start off campus and maybe move on to us.
There are some specific days next week, inauguration day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you're still looking at? You may know already.
Question was, are there some specific dates coming up in the future that we are looking at and may mobilize and may have kind of a repeat of this day, or there may be some subset of the resources that you've seen. Absolutely. We look at this stuff on an hour, really a minute by minute. We have professionals working with the FBI, with local law enforcement, with British Columbia law enforcement, with state resources. We're really looking at this in real time. And so it is not uncommon for the intelligence that we were planning for and looking at and working on in the morning is changed by lunchtime, and then it's changed by supper time. We do that. We make the adjustments as quickly as we can.
We've got 28 events total. Can you just clarify the time period?
That was from Election Day until before this weekend. So we didn't count this unique mobilization because we have, I can't give you the numbers, but we have a large number of our RDF staff here and a large number of our troopers from across the state. But that was from Election Day to the weekend, and so until Sunday, until this deployment. So yeah. So
Can you clarify whether the group tonight is a group from the right or the left?
it's a group from the left. Yeah. So. But that said, this is not a perfect science, and we often have people, individuals, I'm sure you've seen them today, they're individuals. It's a very volatile situation, and it only takes one person to behave badly to get a crowd, to incite a crowd, or for people to respond to, and then you have a response to the response. You have an emotional ping pong game going on all of a sudden, and unfortunately sometimes these folks are heavily armed, sometimes they are greatly exercised in their emotions, and so we just want to make sure that emotional ping pong game doesn't turn into conflict and confrontation that could harm people. Say again, I'm sorry.
The charge that Sergeant Wright talked about, is that the only charge forwarded so far, the first and only related to
First person that it's an ongoing investigation. We are reviewing all sorts of resources, and we appreciate that we have received information from the public. People have sent into our tip line. They have called us. They have let us know what they've seen. So we've gotten information from the public, and we have an ongoing investigation. Whether there will be more arrests or not, that, like I say, I'm not in the prognostication business. I will say, though, that we've got our very best people working on it. That is the first. Anything else? Again, Sergeant Wright, our friends from DES and from the National Guard will be here to answer any individual questions. Thank you very much. It's been a long day. I am glad you are all safe. I'm glad we're all safe. I'm glad the protesters are all safe. And I'm glad all the men and women that man that barricade are safe, and our legislators. Again, as I said from the very beginning, if you come to us and say, hey, you overreacted, I will smile and go home with a smile on my face if everybody was safe. It looks like that's the way this is going to end, knock on wood. But the two words that you can take from all we've done, tragedy and resolve. It's a tragedy that we have to do what we have done. It's a tragedy that those fences are there. It's a tragedy that we have had to call in these extra resources from across the state at extraordinary expense to them personally and their time, but also to the taxpayers of the state of Washington. But we have the resolve. It had to be done, and we did it. If it needs to be done again, we will do it. Thank you very much. Chris Loftus, CHRIS.
Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N. Right, W-R-I. Headquarters Public
Yeah, come on the park. But I watched some of that on the video.